you'll notice in the last video that I did with knife defenses that I used a standard kitchen knife. And some people will wonder why I use something like that instead of something like this, like a Shanghai Shadow or some of the other knives that I have. The reason why I use that chef's knife is to illustrate a point, and the point is this: it doesn't matter what type of knife you use. Quite honestly, over time and after you get used to using all types of different blades, you'll start realizing that yes, there are differences in certain types of blade styles and stuff like that, and every once in a while you get a really oddball type like a Snag Crudo or like a Karambit or something like that. But outside of that, all knives pretty much work the same way. Quite honestly, in the old days, it was very common for you to use the same knives that you had in your kitchen on the battlefield. It was very common, especially in the French and Indian War. So the knives that you lived with, the knives that you used all the time in your kitchen, a lot of the time they were there on your battlefield. I have mentioned a couple of times in various comments before about how a steak knife is actually a pretty decent throwing knife. Here's what I mean by that. Okay, standard steak knife. Okay, Chicago cutlery. I think it's $6 at like Walmart or something. Anyway, let's look at the balance of this thing. Okay, right there. Okay, that's about where you want a balance to be. It's easy to carry. It's easily thrown. It can be sharpened pretty easily. And you can carry and throw multiples of these very quickly. And they're a steak knife. Seriously. I've thrown 3 and 4 of these at a time. No problem. I'll actually probably do a video on knife throwing, and I may show throwing steak knives. In fact, this will probably be one of the exact knives I will be throwing in that video. So, there you go. There are more commercially available throwing knives. They are, you know, but even there, see where the balance is. It's not far off from where that steak knife's balance was. But commercially available throwers like these, okay? Once again, the balance is right about there. My point is pretty simple, and the point is this. You know, throwing knives is just a knife. They're all knives. And is, you know, if I'm attacked in my kitchen and this is closer than this, which one am I going to pick up? Something else I want to hit on while I'm on this video is blade price. Okay? I have a personal belief that if a knife costs more than $100, I don't want it. There are people out there, obviously, who can spend $2,000 or $3,000 on a knife and not have a problem. A knife should not cost them that much. For example, where I'm at with my personal finances, if a knife costs more than $100, I don't want it, because I don't want to have a knife strapped to my side that if I had to, I couldn't afford to replace. That's something that I've learned. You know, something that I've learned while I'm out in the woods and when I'm out doing what I do. Stuff happens to equipment. You drop it. You lose it sometimes. Sometimes it falls off. Sometimes it gets beat up. Sometimes it breaks. Sometimes a whole lot of things happen. And, you know, if I can't afford to replace what I have strapped to my side, I'm not going to strap it to my side. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your time. Defend your homes wisely.